So
And after that, what happened? Nothing.
Yeah, let me ask Shriniwas Rao, the government's contention, and you must have seen this as well by way of government sources saying that, they have no right to drown their medals in the river because the government spent, and they've given out some detailed breakup of how much money has been spent on the training of these individual athletes. And the government's contention is that it's not just Sakshi Malik's medal or it's not just Bajrang Punia's medal. The whole nation has rights to that medal because the government and the taxpayers' money has gone into training these athletes. Do you buy that? Does that seem like a coherent defense?
The money angle makes it a bit ugly, Zakai. It's like, me, I have invested in this robot. I have invested in the science behind this robot. I have paid for the battery. So I will make sure that the robot continues to be active. It's like that. The narrative doesn't seem right, Rather than that, the important thing here to note is, had those medals gone into the Ganga, we would have been left with nothing else but those painful images. That would have stayed with us, and that would have spelled out a very wrong picture, not just in the narrative and in the context of what is happening right now from a political standpoint or whatever, but from a pure sporting standpoint. See, there are many takeaways from this entire episode. There are political takeaways. There are absolutely strict sporting takeaways. There is a cultural and an emotional takeaway. For example, not just because it's an Olympic or an Asian medal winner who is the talking point here. When a woman says that my modesty has been outraged, when a woman says that I have been harassed, percentages do not matter. The point that she has said that her modesty has been outraged is good enough for the country and for everybody, all of us, to sit and take it seriously. I think that is the bottom line. And I don't think the money spent on these players. I think that has a very ugly connotation.
So,
to it.
Imtiaz Anees, one of the contentions again by the government is, it's all becoming political. That there is a section of people who want to control the wrestling federations, who are opposed to Brij Bhushan. There are some names of some Haryana politicians, some corporates as well, who are being alluded to as being the forces behind these women wrestlers. Again, does that make any sort of cut any ice, those arguments? Because, well, there may be politics, but let's investigate these allegations because of the grave nature of the allegations, not just be confined in the politics of it.
Unfortunately, I've been involved in sport all my life, and politics is a part of it. Whether you like it or not, it's always been there. But this case could have been easily avoided if it was just addressed. All these people wanted to was heard, and everything should be put on priority. These are our, not only that they're medal winners, but they're speaking for the nation. These are like our freedom fighters. Anything has to be put on hold. You cannot put them in a normal case, right? In situations like this, if we address the case for 35 days, if they were, waiting for just to be heard and nobody heard them, then these sort of drastic measures are taken. It's not that these drastic measures should have been taken or whether that the drastic measures are right or wrong. It's that it's what's driven them to those drastic measures. And the main point out here is that, these political situations are in every federation and every sport, actually speaking, all over the world. But address the situation, then you never have this problem.
Ayaz Memon, coming back to, where it started, it started off with these wrestlers coming out and saying that there were women wrestlers in the junior camps, in the senior camps, who were facing grave sexual harassment at the hands of this man, the WFI chief. Now, I believe 2 instances happened abroad. I think one in Turkey, one in Japan. I think that's the accusation made by one of the wrestlers. And it turns out, and again, we are being told by way of Delhi police sources and government sources, that on those 2 international instances that have been quoted, this man was not present there. He had not traveled to those countries. So how could the sexual harassment have happened? While those are details, while those are nitty-gritties, what action may suffice for the wrestlers to say, okay, at least we have hope now that the investigation will proceed in a free and fair manner?
See, Zaka, just from the outside, what I feel is that the wrestlers, first, I think when it started, it was about why are the camps being held in a certain place? And, only in this place and not in other places. Why do we have to travel from there to here and so on and so forth? It seemed at that point in time an internecine federation problem, which could have easily been licked at that level, should have been licked at that level. It blew up into something bigger, and then the charges started growing, and it just became far too serious to be restricted to that. And at that point in time, when the IOA stepped in, and then the sports minister also made the attempt to try and resolve the issue, then there was the oversight committee or whatever it's called. At that point in time, you should have given a reassurance to the wrestlers, the protesting wrestlers, that you will get a fair and honest inquiry. And these are the things that we are putting in place. And if there was any issue where they felt that they were being given the short shrift, it should have been addressed there. Instead of saying, don't worry, ho jayega. And then you find that they just didn't agree with anything.
And you don't buy this argument that these medals are not theirs alone, but the taxpayer also has rights on it.
Yeah. But that's a peevish argument to be making at this stage, isn't it, Zaka? That that's a more generic argument that we are all Indians and we are all proud of it. In some way, we have all contributed, at least in supporting our wrestlers, our athletes. So therefore, we are also stakeholders. But that's
So Sunita, no, before I come to Sunita, Srini, where then is this man Brijbhushan Sharan deriving his power from? I keep coming back to this. It's not like he's some senior member of this party, or it's not like he's some senior cabinet minister. Yes, he's a WFI president, and yes, he's been a member of parliament. But where is he deriving so much power from that he's able to dig his heels in? It's been over a month and a half now since these wrestlers have been sitting on protest. And, they had to go to the Supreme Court to even get a FIR registered. Forget about his arrest. So where is he deriving his power from?
Exactly. The lady on the show here talked about, this looking like some kind of a pajama theory where some random politician is made to look so all-powerful that the whole country has come to a standstill over a matter which is, apropos their standing as athlete, is extremely serious. So I don't know. I mean, we know something as simple as we go on Twitter and we try to take a look of what is happening around. Look at the commentary around this. Everybody, whether it's from political corners or from a corporate standpoint, I'll tell you, I can't take names on the show. A corporate leader got himself involved in this discussion. Right? A corporate name, a big name from corporate, got involved in this whole thing. And suddenly the word started going around as to why exactly is this individual saying anything. Now, what does the individual say? He must have said something on the lines of, respect the athletes here. And that got boiled into a completely separate controversy where saying this man may have personal interest and that is why. So I don't know right now, from the outside, this looks like everybody who probably has the time to have a say is trying to have a say on the matter.
Okay.
And I think that is where everybody needs to take a step back here and allow a free and fair investigation where the girls can be heard. I think that's as simple as that. We don't really need to get into narratives here.
So